Repeat after me. I will have a clear vision on how to become a full-time lash artist in 2025. You will have a clear vision on how to become a full-time lash artist by 2025. I left my teaching career to become a full-time lash artist, and I'm on a mission to help new and aspiring lash artists do the same. If this is something you're interested in, or if this is your vibe, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You've been searching lash artist stuff. You have been doing lashes on the side. You're tired of feeling like you can't give your all to your lash business because of your full-time job, and honestly you're just ready to give up at this point. You're like, what is the point if I am not able to do lashes full-time and see my full potential? I was you were me, and so I know the feeling. I learned to lash in 2018. My lash tech at the time, she was having a training, and I decided to take it, and since that moment, y'all, I have been lashing ever since. Like, all I wanted to do was lash. Like, lashing is my zen. It's my moment of peace. But in 2020, my lash journey took a drastic turn. I had to make a huge pivot. I ended up getting pregnant, and my daughter's family and my family all live in the same town, which just happens to be my hometown. So I packed up my things and I left the big city and I moved to my hometown, which who wants to go back to their hometown? Nobody. So at that time, I was really just stressed about the moves I should make, how I was going to support myself financially. Luckily, I ended up finding another teaching job, and then I started lashing on the side. So since I moved back to my hometown, I already knew quite a few people, so I decided to reach out to them to see if I could just put lashes on their eyes to promote and market myself at the time. After a year, I decided that I needed to make a change because working full-time and being a new mother and lashing part-time was beginning to be a lot. I knew for a fact that doing lashes, I could supplement my income, that I didn't need to do both. Like, I could make way more doing lashes than I did being a teacher. So in 21, I decided to quit my job as a teacher and move in with my parents so that I could make my transition from being a part-time lash artist to a full-time lash artist. I was ready to get into the swing of things and take myself serious. Like, I knew I had so much potential, and I was just ready to see if I gave this my all, could I make this happen? Prior to my transition, there were a few steps that I had to take, and so I want to share those with you today so that if you are thinking about transitioning to a full-time lash artist or seeing if you really have potential as a lash artist, maybe a few of these steps will help you get to where you need to be. The first step I had to do was evaluate my situation. So I had to think about, like, what did I need in order to make what I was making or to supplement my income or to cover my living expenses. So I put the pen to paper and I crunched the numbers. I knew for a fact that I needed only 14 clients in order to supplement my teaching income, and that was going to be enough because I ended up moving in with my parents to cut down on my living expenses. So I no longer had rent. I didn't have like any large bills. All I had at the time was maybe like my car note, some medical bills, and maybe like student loans, a little debt like that. So I was really able to save because I was moving in with my parents at that time. I had to quit. I was lashing in the evenings, so I had at least like 5 clients, like loyal clients that were in rotation. So I knew I only needed 11 more clients in order for me to have a solid booking, right? Just 14. That's all I said. All I need is 14. And when we think about lashing in a city where there are so many other lash artists, we think, oh my gosh, it's oversaturated. But to me, all I needed was 14. Like, I could count that amount of people in line at the grocery store. So all I needed was that. And just to think there's so many more people in this city. Like, I can't lash everybody, so I'm just gonna lash the few that I need to, and that's just gonna be just enough for me. So that's how I was able to rationale like my situation and what I needed to make this thing get going. Step number 2 is to build a strong clientele. One thing that I did was I focused on my marketing in this city. I knew that in order for me to get clients in the door, I was going to have to put myself out there. And I know you guys might think like marketing is just social media. Marketing is way more than that. Marketing is collaborating with others in the beauty industry. It is actually asking people to share your work, speak on your work, and word of mouth is really how I grew my clientele from like barely to like solid booked. The biggest thing I felt like really helped, I wouldn't say it really helped, but it definitely put my business in front of other eyes that I never would have reached if I wouldn't have done this, and this was a collaboration giveaway. So when I was getting ready to go full time, I got the opportunity to join this giveaway, and there were so many people. It was like 10 people, and we all did different things. It was like a gift card to a boutique. I offered a free lash set. There was like a free makeup set, a free photography session, free hair extensions or something like that. And so in order for the winner to win, they had to either share and tag someone in the Instagram post. And so with that, the traction that built, my profile on Instagram was getting so many views by eyes I would have never reached if I wouldn't have entered into this giveaway. Now giveaways are so common, I feel like people really don't participate because they feel like they're not going to win. But I would say try to do a collaboration giveaway with a few people, local people in your area, to get your business out there. Another thing that I like pride myself on is being able to nurture my relationships with my current clients. I treat them well, they treat me just as well back. Like, we communicate, like we have a really good relationship, and I love my clients. I like to listen to their stories. I like to remember things that are happening in their lives and just kind of like checking in on them, let them know that I really value them pouring into my life, because they are helping me make a living for myself and my daughter, and I am just so grateful that they choose to spend their coins with me, as they could be anywhere else. So when my clients come in, they get my full attention. I don't answer the phone, I don't text. Now if they're gonna go to sleep, I might put my AirPod in and listen to a podcast, but nurturing my relationship with my current clients is what has taken me far, because they are the ones that are speaking my name to the mountains. Like, I am their lash girl through and through, and if anyone is ever needing lashes, baby, you better believe they are tagging me and they are letting the world know that I am the best. So you want to make sure that you are taking care of your clients, loving on them while you have them, remembering their birthdays, offering them incentives, and giving them a little grace if they're running late. Remember, your clients are human too. Step 3, create a transition plan. So you want to make sure that you are serious about this thing. Like, we are not just talking about it, you are going to be about it. So you want to make sure that from the time you decide I want to see my full potential, to the time you're going to launch, when you go live and when you are going full time, or when are you going to give it your all, you want to make sure that you have a transition period that is intentional. Do you need to take another training? Do you need to work on your booking site? Those things need to be scheduled out and time stamped by week or by month, or however long you need, so that you can make sure that when it's time for you to go live, everything is seamless and you're not scrounging around trying to work on the back end while you provide for the front end. Now, during this transitional period, you want to make sure that you are financially stable. While we're working on the back end, we're also putting aside money. We are cutting back on some of our personal expenses so that we can make this transition into being a full-time lash artist as seamless as possible. A few things that I did was I, of course, moved back in with my parents, and that saved me so much, y'all. I seen so much growth in my business funds when I did that, just by cutting back on everything. And my daughter was small at the time, so it didn't require a lot to like her expenses just weren't a lot, and she wasn't in daycare. Her grandparents watched her while I lashed. So I was able to save so much money, just making that sacrifice and moving back home and cooking at home and just really taking care of myself during this time, like financially and physically, because I knew that what I was about to prepare for, what I was preparing for in the season I was about to walk in, I was going to have to be together financially, physically, emotionally, and spiritually for sure. So you want to make sure that you put your money aside. That way you have a little cushion, because becoming an entrepreneur is ghetto. Nobody tells you it's ghetto, but it's rewarding, and it's not for the weak, but it is for the weak. Like, it's like a 50-50 type thing. So save your money. In addition to saving your money, you also want to prepare mentally and emotionally. One thing I always tell new and aspiring lash artists when they ask me about my journey is that you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And what I mean by that is, this is going to be an uncomfortable season in your life, and it is not going to last forever. It does get better. It gets easier. Lashing is not something that is going to come naturally for you, because these are very minute movements, very skilled, very detailed. This is not anything that we just do on the day-to-day. But with time, it gets easier. So emotionally, you have to make sure that you know some days are going to be hard. Some days you are going to want to just throw in the towel and go back to your full-time job. And I'm not saying that you can't, but just know those days are going to come. So when they do, that you are prepared and that you are equipped to be able to tackle those emotions. And for me, I found my solitude. I found I got grounded in the Word of God. My relationship, my spiritual journey with God is just so strong, and there are just so many things that He has done in my life, that in so many tables He's turned, so many ways that He's made, so many ways that He has provided, that I know that for whatever is to come, my Lord and Savior is going to be there to back me all the way. It may not be easy, it may not look like what I think it should look like, but there is purpose in the madness. And so know that what you're being called to is not going to be an easy task. It is going to be difficult, but it's going to be you that has to tell that testimony. It's going to be you that has to go through that, so that you can pave the way and show the way for others. And honestly, simply, I stand here before you today because that's what I am doing. Like, I'm just walking in alignment to the word that God has for my life. During my time of transition, I was searching. I was looking for ways to really make this thing pop off. I took a training. I was taking like business classes. I found me an accountant to help me with my taxes, because I got a family and I don't have time to play with Uncle Sam and their money. So I needed somebody to help me line things out, help me to actually see my money and see what was going where and what I needed to do financially in my business to be able to see it grow. So I was making sure that I was building my skill, increasing my time with my clients, and pouring back into my business in ways that was going to benefit me. So getting systems in order and working on my booking site and making sure things were seamless, so that everything was efficient when it was time to get rolling. So you want to make sure that you have a really good booking site. If you need to reach out to an accountant, a bookkeeper, anybody like that, you need to make sure you have those systems in place. Honestly, if you feel like your skill could use somewhere, I would invest there first. Never be afraid to take a really good training. I would suggest you take a in-person training. Yes, online trainings are great, but there's just nothing like being in the energy of another lash artist, of an educator that is just so excited and just so thrilled to pour into you what they already know, that alone is motivation. Just being around someone like that is just motivating, and it encourages you to continue to keep pushing in your business, because what they're showing you is that this too is possible for you. And lastly, celebrate your growth. Be excited for what is to come. You might not be standing in the end result at that time, but you will eventually get there. So as you are making these small strides in your business, celebrate yourself. I remember whenever I was making this transition, I was also in a master's program to get my master's in education, as well as receiving my instructor's license in the state of Texas. And I was just so happy to be able to accomplish these things while I was getting ready to launch this business that I had no idea what this looked like. I'm talking about, like, I just didn't know. And I'm just so happy that I took that leap, went out on faith, and believed in myself enough to be able to see it to come into fruition. Like, today I own a lash institute, East Texas Lash Institute in Tyler, Texas, and I also own a lash studio suites called True Lash Studios in Tyler, where I work with other full-time lash artists. So being a full-time lash artist is not just something you see on Instagram. In real life, people are really doing these things, and people that are really making really good money, you don't see them on Instagram flaunting and trying to show you what they got or what they bought. Like, this is a true career for some people, and they are full-time lash artists, and they go home and they take care of their children, and they are wives to their husbands, or they are mothers, or whatever it is in their families. They are key roles. Like, this is an actual career. So I don't want you to let anyone tell you that this is something crazy. This is real. I remember my mom and my dad, they were so concerned. They were like, "You doing what? You got a newborn baby. You need to be trying to get you some insurance and get you a stable job and work." And now they see what I do, and they're always asking, like, "So how many students do you have in your class this time? Or how many clients you got today? Are you selling products?" Of course I'm selling products. Of course, yes. And I have this many students. So when they see me absent, or when they're helping me watch for my daughter or picking her up for school for me because I am working, they see all of the hard work and all of the sacrifice that I put in to be here. And if I had not celebrated myself along the way, or included them, or showed them the ways and things that I was doing, they would have doubted me and tried to talk me out of it. And if I would have celebrated myself, I would have tried to talk myself out of it. But you have to be proud of what you're doing, and remember your why. Why are you doing this? What motivates you to do what you are about to do? You are about to just open up so many doors when it comes to being a full-time lash artist, and I just cannot wait to see your business grow and thrive. I want to encourage you and just let you know that this is not going to be a quick journey. It's not going to be easy, and move at your own speed. I want you to take your time getting to where you need to be. Ask the questions, reach out for help, join communities, reach out to a mentor, and take the classes that you need in order to be where you need to be. The most important thing is I pray that you are confident in your ability to execute the goals that you have set out for yourself. I want to hear from you. I want to know what's holding you back. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about going full-time as a lash artist or as an entrepreneur? If you're watching this and you're not in the lash industry, as an entrepreneur, what is holding you back from becoming that? I really want to hear from you in the comments. Feel free to ask me any questions. And if you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to see more of these, let me know. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Talk to you later.